Today, while becoming into the ocean, the way every day is a completely different experience, completely different, and my connections are completely different. So it's like when you are disappearing from your, it's not from your body or from your mind. You are nothing and everything. And the consciousness is not the person. And the person is just part. Is the person is the three-dimensional projection of the four-dimensional or fifth-dimensional consciousness, which is completely abstract because it is in a different. It's like for two dimensions, understanding the third dimension, right? This is the same thing. The body, everything that you can define, is only on that level, and you are living on three-dimensional and thinking in three-dimensional. Once you are aware of all these things and you go to the next dimension, which is not the time. Time is in there because time is not there anymore. Time is not relevant. Space is not relevant. Nothing is relevant in the one that is projecting to our bodies and minds. So yeah, there will be very, very, very intellectual and clever people. And what does it mean? Absolutely nothing. Depends on many other things that these people are doing, right? But if you evaluate from the wrong perspective, then your good ones are going to be infravalorated and your wrong ones are going to be overrated. And you will be asking why and questioning why. The politicians are the projections of your votes, right? So, what are your intentions as well? So, I was not going to say this. It was a story about children. When I met many people who don't want to recall any aspect about childhood. So with some people, I can do the dynamic of I'm 6 years old, blah, 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 and good morning, and the words on chi. More than 50% of the people cannot do it. I don't know how much, but they cannot for whatever reason. Some others I haven't even tried because when I say imagine this, and I say, no, I don't want to because I feel vulnerable. And I hate to feel vulnerable, and that's the way people want to get stronger in the wrong direction, because you don't get stronger just avoiding that and making a huge scaffold to support that side. Just accept it as everything else, and it's not as bad as you thought once you know it, and once you are feeling that is a very teaching lesson, because every single aspect is a cardinal point in your universal path. And when I told them to connect with a child and they said, I don't have childhood, I never told them what I felt today. Even in your worst moments as a child, you have memories. And in those memories, you had your release valve going to Wonderland, and you were imagining you were not a child, or you were not that child, or you were not in that family, or you were not, or you were a mouse, or you were whatever. Even in the worst childhood, you have that vault. And when you were growing, you grew outside the vault, and now you forgot the password or whatever, or it is uh, one is with oxidado. I forgot the rusty. You see the small details, how can kill an amazing story, but it doesn't matter at all. every single thing can be very horrible, very, but you are amplifying everything emotionally with your rational thoughts, and because you are fearful. And as a child, if you are not having, you're psychosomatic, if you're not having psychosomatic symptoms like in your skin or your breathing or whatever, it's probably because you learned how not to have them, but they went worse because what you did was this thing that I said, that is making the scaffold, make it, the structure more rigid and stronger, instead of tearing down the whole structure, because you are nothing and you are everything. And when you are in that vault, why don't you open it? Why don't you? I'm sure every single child in the worst moment, because I remember myself being 3 years old and being so scared of the monsters, and I fell from the bed, and I didn't dare to move because I didn't want them to know where I was. If I couldn't see them, they couldn't see me. That's ridiculous. And then I stood there, just waiting probably for death. I don't know. But once you are there, you just say, as a child, you don't know what death is. It's like game over. It's like, so the important thing is to be aware of all these kind of things. So every child has been aware of any of these things, but they need to connect and remember that the stupidest thing, the closer the connection is.